email out to a whole bunch of people last minute, but I hope that you guys got it, and welcome. And guys, this is live. It truly is live, but it will later be recorded on the YouTube channel, so you guys can go back and watch it. And I will have to say, we're not going to be going as long today as we did last time. Last time we gave you guys like over an hour, I think. We're going to shorten it up a little bit, but we will jump into the questions right away. Ask good questions. Try to stump me and Emily if you can. I challenge you. I would love to see you guys do it. But really good to see you. And Emily, thank you so much for being here on Wednesdays.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Tell us, how were your sales last month? How were they? What was the profit margin?
Yep. Profit margin is still the same. I've been doing a lot of testing this month. I thought January would be a good time to do that since sales are a little bit slower and I didn't want to kind of waste exposure that happens the rest of the year.
Right.
So sales were down a little bit from my highest month, which was the 18,000 that you featured before. So they're right around 12 or 13 for the month. And that's because I've been turning certain keywords off and turning certain keywords on, testing photos, doing all this stuff that I'm guessing is affecting sales. So almost done with all the testing, and then hopefully next month we'll be right back up to where I was.
Very cool. And she's at 43% profit margin. So I just want to encourage you guys, would you not want to be generating 12 to 13,000 a month minimum? Way back in November, she was at like 18,000 and generating 43% gross profit off of that. And she's correct. If you are selling, because sales are always going to be slower in January, so you can test out what your customers are doing. You can take more risks as you move into February, March, and the sales pick up from there. And just keep in mind too, when Emily started, she knew nothing about Amazon, just like me, just like all of us. She decided to launch. She struggled. She joined Just One Dime. She started to apply the training, and she launched, and then she began to start making real money. And now she's actually looking at possibly launching a second product at some point because she's generating capital to do that. So guys, be encouraged. You can do this. And by the way, Emily has a night graveyard shift. She works full time. She has a husband and a child, and she's making this happen at home. So I hope this encourages and proves to you guys, again, you can make this happen. And by the way, I'm not paying her to be here. She's here in her own free will. Guys, I was just talking to our media director today. He's like, Seth, people probably ask just so much. Why do you coach if you make so much money on Amazon? And I said, even if I made zero money coaching, I would still probably be doing it on the side because I love teaching. I'm a teacher and I love sharing these ideas. And Emily, I know you have a passion, especially, I remember you mentioned you want to help empower women to have confidence. Do you have anything you want to say about that? Or right now, speaking to the women who are watching, we have a lot watching right now. What would you say to them?
Yeah, just that this time period in my life poses a whole new set of challenges that I wasn't used to before having my daughter about 3.5 years ago. Even to be on this video, I had to go drop her off, arrange care, and then I'm going to have to go pick her up. And the reason I do that kind of stuff is because I want this so badly. This isn't a hobby. This isn't something I do for fun. This is something I'm truly passionate about. And sure, in a literal sense, I'm doing it for the money, but really my focus is not on the cash. It's on all the things that the money allows me to do, like spend more time with my daughter, quit this overnight shift, which isn't good for my health, and so on and so forth. And so I'm willing to move mountains to get there. And for anybody that says, yeah, but I don't have the know-how or the time or the money, you can get what you need when you need it. It's really about who you seek out as an expert and the tenacity that you apply to the process. And that's why, again, this is not a plug for Just One Dime. This is my personal, passionate opinion. If I had started earlier, I would have saved myself a lot of headache. But the reason that I'm a lifetime member of Just One Dime is because I always want to be in that inner circle of the knowledge, the cutting edge knowledge, because in 8 months, Amazon has already changed significantly. And if I was just trying to figure that out myself, I don't have time. I really, truly don't have time to stay on top of everything and how all the nuances and all the cutting edge strategies. So I think get the experts in your corner and then just go at it and don't stop until you're successful.
Absolutely. And she's right, guys. Amazon changes constantly. Do not go out there and buy some course and expect the course to make you successful. become part of a team that is constantly selling on Amazon and sharing with you how it's done, and it's being upgraded as they go. That's what you want. You want real-time value. It makes all the difference in the world as an entrepreneur, especially with e-commerce, because it changes constantly. Okay, so guys, we have a huge question. I'm going to ask Emily this question. Emily, how do I beat my competitors on Amazon? How do I position myself so that I can actually crush them? What are your suggestions? What are some of your strategies for me? And everyone below, let us know if you're wrestling with this right now.
Good question. So I've been wrestling this with myself for this past month as I try to reposition and think about different strategies to be more successful. And I think one of the dangers that I've noticed even myself falling into, and I even went to business school, so I know better than this, is that I haven't thought through my positioning. I've done some me too stuff that I wish I hadn't done. So for example, you find a product and it meets the criteria, think, oh, okay, everyone's selling for $25. I guess I should sell for right around that. And everyone has this kind of copy on their listing. I think I should have something very similar. And the risk that you get into when you become an Amazon seller is this kind of passive role that you can easily take. If you were selling off of the Amazon platform, and let me just give an example. So let's say I said to you, hey, Seth, I invented this super cool lunch cooler bag and it keeps contents cold for 24 hours. Your first question would probably be, okay, that's awesome. Who's your customer? And I would have had to think through that before I came up with this idea. So I'm going to say kids, parents who pack for their kids, for lunch and daycare and all that kind of stuff daily. And then I'm also going to target diabetics who need to bring their insulin with them and can't have it spoil. If you ask me on the Amazon platform, okay, you're selling a lunch cooler, who's that going to? I'm going to say people who buy lunch coolers. And you're going to say, yeah, but who is that? Well, I don't really know. And so I've fallen into that kind of build it and they will come situation where I just assume Amazon's going to do the heavy lifting for me and figure out who's supposed to be buying this cool, amazing product I've created. And we really stress differentiation in our products. That's kind of a given at this point, but we need to stress differentiation in our product positioning as well. And I think it's almost too easy to put a product up on Amazon and think, yeah, I mean, the product's great. Okay, but who are you targeting? Who are your pictures targeting? Who is your copy targeting? That needs to be an extremely targeted strategy. And then in this example, kids and diabetics who pack insulin, that's two different product lines. I'm not going to fit that all into one listing.
Right.
So I think it's easy to get distracted from stuff you would do if you were selling off of Amazon. So I think the best way, differentiate your product, that's a given, and then differentiate the position you take in the market by really focusing on who is my target market. And that's the kind of information you're going to have to go research off of Amazon. It's not like you can figure out exactly the demographics or the psychographics of your customer there. But through exterior research, you should be able to determine that and really compose your listing in a way that talks to them specifically.
Yeah, really, really good. Guys, I want to just summarize what she mentioned, just to be super clear. You can beat your competitors by targeting your customers. If you know your customers, you can beat your competitors because you're going to draw a unique kind of customer that is unique to you more than anyone else. And that is going to be a huge, huge, huge help for you in order to build a brand. Now, Emily, what are some of the suggestions or places you would recommend people go in order to get this data on those customers? Like, okay, so I launched a product on Amazon. Where do I go? How do I find out about this customer so I know who I am targeting?
Yeah, the three things I like to do is I like to look at Pinterest, Etsy, and then I like to pursue subject matter experts. So really look at Pinterest and Etsy to kind of see who is leaving reviews, what are they saying about the reviews, and Pinterest to see what customers or what bloggers or whoever it might be that's posting are talking about within a specific target. You can get a lot of really good feedback, and it's not as kind of gated as a professional article that's got all the check boxes marked. It's really moms or, a cook or a chef or someone like that, just giving their honest feedback. And that kind of feedback really gives you a window into what they're thinking. And then the customer comments really let you know where even the blogger or the poster may have missed certain points. So that's in addition to obviously just Google research that you would look up on a topic. But I find that really gets into the nitty gritty quickly.
Awesome. Guys, I'm going to take the first question that I see here. We have Matt Markley. Good to see you, brother. His question is, how do I get Amazon to put Amazon ads on Google that link to my product? So great question. So the first thing you want to do is when you create your listing, you want the first 4 words. So you're going to have your first word, which is your brand name. The following 3 words are going to be the main keyword for your product. Then you're going to have a space and a hyphen or a space and an underscore or a flash, however you want. You can even do the bar, the pipe, and then the rest of your product. Those first words will end up being what's called an anchor URL. And what that means is if I go to Amazon and I search your product and I click on the listing and I remove everything after reference for this REF, the first few words are actually in the listing are going to say your main keywords. It'll be your brand name, then your main keyword, and then it'll have your ASIN following that. Now what you can do is take that link and you can run that as an ad on Google. So Amazon and Google are separate companies. You cannot get Amazon to advertise for you or Google to advertise for you. You have to set that up yourself internally. The other thing you can do, a lot of people do this, is headline search ads. So once you have your brand registered, you're in the brand registry, you have the ability to show up at the very top header of that page when someone searches for your product. So instead of being here with these different spots where it says sponsored, you can be on the headline as well. Great question, Matt. All right, what's up, Casey? Good to see you. Casey says, I'll give this one to you, Emily. I want to use only a U.S. supplier for my bundle. I know you're working, okay, I think this one is me. I know you're working with the possibility of Los Angeles spots. Yes. So, Casey, are you going to Los Angeles? Because at Los Angeles Ecom 2019, we're going to be featuring some specialists in different parts of the world. And one of the people we're talking to is a supplier who lives in Los Angeles. They're all based in Los Angeles. And it saves you on having to deal with customs, a lot of the shipping fees, all of that, to counteract the fact that everything's going to be a little more expensive in the US than it is in China. They will also do the packaging, the labeling, the FNSKU, all of that for you. They're really like a supplier prep center put into one. So it takes out a ton of the headache and you have them literally ship it for you. Now, we're working on negotiating with them, but there's a very strong chance they will be there, and you'll hear about it soon. And if they are, they'll be offering a discount to everyone, a massive discount, a discount they've offered to no one before ever on planet Earth. It's the biggest discount ever, and they said, we want to do this with you guys because you represent such an on-fire, large community of Amazon sellers. So you will hear about it soon, very soon. I can tell you in the meantime, guys, it's one of the fastest ways. Let's just say you're selling something fixed. Find the manufacturer on the website, or even pick up the brand name, Google that plus supplier, and if you dig deep enough, you can find who the supplier is, or at least what company name they're under. You can look that up in local records based on county, like your Secretary of State, based on the county of the state, and eventually narrow it down who is the supplier, what is their address, and then you contact them and find out if they will serve for you as well. Anything you want to add to that, Emily?
No, I think we covered it. That's great.
All right. Enrique says, I'm really looking forward to purchasing your program. I've been watching a majority of your free training videos, and it is encouraging us, my wife and I, to take the next step. So, Enrique, I just want to encourage you, jump in and put your head down and push forward and don't stop. If you give it 2 hours a day, this is what I recommend. 2 hours a day, 6 days a week, consistently, over a year, there's no reason you shouldn't see very strong results, whether they be 500 more a month or and we have all different results a month. And the key thing is, it's going to come in waves. Some days are busier, some less, but you have to carve out a few hours every day to make it happen. That's really, really important. Anything you want to add, Emily, to Enrique?
Yeah, just that in addition to the training, one of the things I find most helpful is the Facebook group, and that's an active group of members who are rooting for each other, as well as coaches who are answering your questions. And I think entrepreneurship is such a mind game. It's great to have knowledge, but the emotional side of it that you will encounter on a daily basis can be countered by people saying, hey, I'm in the same boat, don't worry, this is how we work this out. And really having a team surround you instead of just going at it alone will just ensure your success.
Yeah, that's really good. Here's something else I want to share, guys. Actually, let me go back to this. We have questions both on Instagram and YouTube. I'm going to jump to Instagram. Our fan says, when should I trademark my brand name? Emily.
Sure. There's no right or wrong answer to this question, but I think it's really a matter of cash flow. We talked about that last week. For example, I've been selling for months now and have not even applied for my trademark yet, because that was something I was kind of testing the waters. Is this product going to work? Is this a name I want to commit to? However, I have my brand printed on everything. My materials say my name and I have the TM. I just don't have the registered trademark yet. So you can go at it for a while without registering for that. And in fact, my opinion is I would encourage that, because it's it can be a cash flow heavy undertaking. But as soon as you gain some traction and you kind of have proof of concept in the market, I would say start applying, because it's a long turnaround process. So it's really a business decision that's up to you. But I would say later is okay.
Really good point. And I like how you said, if you need to wait, it's totally fine. You don't have to do it right away. It does affect your cash flow. And guys, remember, long term, you do want to trademark. But I started with a dime. Emily started brand new to this. So we all started somewhere. You have to look at your resources and say, okay, what's the next step? Now, here's one thing I'll suggest. Move to cash as reasonably and quickly as you can without damaging your brand value. In other words, the sooner you're generating cash, the easier it is to build your business and then apply for a trademark and then get brand registered and maybe get brand gated and all these other things you want to do. In other words, you need to get selling. You need to sell. If you don't sell, you only last for so long. You need to start generating that capital. And that still might take anywhere from 2 to 6 months if you're planning it correctly. There's a lot of gurus out there who say, oh yeah, there's just 3 things you need to know, and boom, these are the secrets. There are no secrets, guys. The truth is, it is hard work. It requires knowledge that changes over time, because as Emily mentioned earlier, it does change. Consistency, integrity, and a willingness to enjoy the journey. If you do that, there's no reason you cannot turn this into millions of dollars, as several of our students have done. All right, great question, you guys. Let's keep going. Good to see everybody. Casey Chase Film says, I lost over $12,000 working with China before just one dime. Communication was too difficult. Pull the trigger and repay is the best. So thank you, Casey. I appreciate that. And I want to say huge credit to Emily and other people who made this membership absolutely amazing, because there's no freaking way on earth I could do this by myself. It started with me, and then it just grew from there. Okay, we have another question from I Say Frosty. Are you Frosty today? What are the websites I can use to do research? So there's multiple ones. I'll share a few if you have any you want to share after that. Emily, feel free to. So I always start with Amazon because it requires you to have foundational knowledge. It's like drinking water versus a soft drink, or versus orange juice and apple juice. Just take the healthy option. Soft drinks are not good. So start with something start with the basics. You go to Amazon, you literally, let's just say you're interested in selling a selfie stick. So you type in black selfie stick, and boom, you look at the first page of search results, and you notice what DSR is on those. And you use the tool that we use in our membership to find out how many times we're selling a day based on that BSR. Already have a really strong idea of the main product. Then you go to the next page, and you find that the majority of these people, if the people who are selling more than 50 times a day, if there's at least 20 or more of them, the competition is pretty intense. So the next step you say, well, is there something missing? Is there a way I can differentiate so that when people look at this product, they just say, you know what? This person's doing something different. I want theirs. Even if they start with 0 reviews, they'll still buy it if it's a real problem. We just went through this process. Alan and I were working on this product, tons of research. We even ran keywords. And we were so close to pulling the trigger on exactly how we were going to differentiate. But we said, you know what, let's just do one more test. And we tested, we got a ton of data put together, and we stopped, we scratched our heads, and we said, no, there's not enough differentiation value here to this work. And so we decided not to do it. I'm so glad we made that decision, you guys. So please make sure you know that you are differentiated before you launch that product. That way you're not stuck with the dead weight. Emily, what do you say to that?
When I first started looking for products back a year ago, I started on Amazon and tried to kind of back into solutions and look for, products that were missing off of Amazon, or how could I differentiate and make things better. And I came up with a lot of Me Too solutions. It was kind of like a one-off. Okay, it's a little bit better, but is anyone going to really care about this solution? And so I kind of developed this little, I guess, hack for myself where I do the same thing I just mentioned a minute ago. I start on Pinterest and I start to look for niches on Pinterest where people are really passionate, and things that groups of people I would have nothing or no knowledge of previous to reading an article about them. And I start to build kind of groups of people and drill down further into what they use. Then I go to Amazon and check, hey, is this demand being met? And if it is, I kind of start this circular process that includes research, it includes reading more articles, it includes subject matter experts, and I kind of build this full picture. And a lot of times you still come up to the same conclusion, which is, hey, this is not going to be a big enough change that people are going to care. And so it's a really time intensive process with a lot of frustration, I think, along the way. But people who are writing things on Pinterest or have their own blogs are super passionate. And if they have a following, that means already you have market proof that a lot of people care. And it's likely represented on Amazon in some way. Maybe no one's searching for that keyword or that exact solution, but they are looking for a solution to an existing problem. So that's kind of how I back into that.
I love, Emily, how you focus on niches. That's so key, you guys, what she said. It's much easier to be the kingfish of a pond than the whale of the ocean. Because if you narrow it niche down to a smaller category, you could dominate that category much more easily and make far more money as a result. And it's less expensive and time intensive in order to scale. Real Jif says, I've been using the search criteria for a Maison product database and haven't been finding leads. What you need to do, Real Jif, is you need to go down, look at your criteria. I would start in the product database by opening it completely up. Don't start with categories. Completely open it up and hit search. See what you find. Then when you realize you're getting too many results, then start narrowing down. So you're probably starting like this, and you need to start like this, and then narrow it down. And the more you narrow it down, the easier you can direct your research based on the product niche that you want to launch in. No problem, I say Frosty. I think I say Frosty is laughing because we told him to stay Frosty. Guys, I'm sorry the connection's a little bad. In 2 weeks, we are in our new offices. They're being built right now. We have insanely fast internet. And I will no longer look like a pixeled Minecraft character. I promise. All right. In the meantime, Emily, let's mute our own mics on YouTube when the other person's talking. It'll help it not to flash back and forth because it's not happening. It's like going back and forth. Okay. AJ says, can you elaborate on the new fields, top searches, product pages under campaign settings, and what's a good percentage to go with? So AJ, I cannot tell you what a good percentage to go with is yet because I need to test it more. Honest answer. I can't. I need to test it more to tell you that. But I will tell you this. When you're running your campaign, you have to know your profit margin. Your ACoS and your profit margin are like cousins. And you want to make sure that your ACoS does not get above your profit margin, but that's after you've launched and collected a bunch of data. Once you've done that, then you can optimize. Remember what Emily said at the beginning of this conversation, AJ? You have to optimize your listing. So I can tell you for a fact, most of the time when Amazon comes out with the new feature, the first thing I do is I wait before commenting and I test it because I don't trust it yet. There's times where, do you guys remember platinum keywords? They're still showing up on some listings. Does it give you that option on your listings, Emily? The platinum keywords? Okay. Those things don't work. They do not work effectively. We tested them multiple times. I've talked to other people in different categories than mine, and they're not effective. There was a day when they were, but way back when they first launched them, they were ineffective. They got them to that point, then they began to replace it with general search terms. So if I was in your shoes, I wouldn't even change your percentage specifically for product pages under campaign and searches. I would focus on your ACoS now only and give it time. And then later on, when I have more knowledge on that, I can share. Is there anything, Emily, you want to add to that you may know about that I don't?
No, I'm still learning about it myself.
Okay. That's one thing I want you guys to know, and this is super key. There are software tools out there that will provide you data for every category, sometimes they don't have the data for that category. There are other software tools who won't provide you the data unless they have it. And that's a principle of Just One Dime. We will give you the data that we have, and that's it, based on what we're experiencing and what we know. And that's one of the things I like about a Mesao. How many people will be at the Summit 2019? A whole lot of people. Just imagine being in a room with a bunch of people on fire to build passive income with you, who are walking with you. Some of these people are millionaires. Some of them are just starting. Some of them are mid-range. Now imagine going to a VIP party on a ship on the Pacific Ocean. Like it's going to be amazing, you guys. I'll just share one of the guys, Joe Giacone. He launched on Amazon. He went from 0 to 3 million in 6 months. And I said, look, man, when you talk about some of the biggest struggles, he said, no problem. I've seen a slideshow. You guys are going to love it. You're going to hear stuff at Ecom you will not hear anywhere else. That's why we were very picky and hand-picking. We went out and found top Amazon sellers who don't coach, who don't do anything but sell. Like, we want you to come in and talk to them. And I think your guys' minds are going to be blown. Not to mention that Amazon will be there. It's kind of cool. All right. Here we go. No problem, AJ. Yeah, I knew what you're talking about, AJ. It's sponsored ads. I completely understand. That's awesome. Thank you, Emily, they say. Okay, I'm going to jump down over here to Parth. Here we go. If you are in a niche where customers buy based on reviews and your competitors have 200 to 300 reviews, but you have a better product with 30 reviews, 1,000 things I want to say about this. I will say one thing and let Emily share whatever she wants to share. Great question, Parth. First of all, it is true that some categories, in some product categories, reviews have a greater impact on the conversion than others. That is true. However, if that is the main determining factor, then the problem is not the number of reviews. The problem is the product, your product. Either the real value or the perceived value is not high enough. For example, when you mention you have a better product, I believe you. And if I held your product in my hand, I could probably, in all of theirs, I could probably say, yep, Parth has the best product. But here's my question. If I do a search for your main keyword and you get a list of all these search results products coming up, and I see yours, is it immediately obvious that yours is the best? Can I immediately tell Parth that yours stands out? Because if it's not immediately obvious in not just the title, but especially the photo, your conversion will suffer. And if your conversion is suffering, your PPC campaign won't work correctly. Emily, is there anything you want to add to that?
Just that you and I were actually talking about this yesterday regarding my product, and I started my product before I joined Just One Dime, and looking back, it's a solid product and it's making me money and it's working. But if you brought me forward a few months after I joined Just One Dime and I had that information, top of mind, I would have said, you know what, this is a great product. I get good reviews on it, but it's really hard to show customers why it's so great just in my listing. And so that's why I'm doing this testing in January and this kind of optimization and different pictures and all of that, because I'm kind of in the same boat. I need to learn how to show customers this outperforms all the other listings that you're looking at. So I feel for you. It's not necessarily an easy task, but I never personally want to be in a position where I'm competing on reviews or price. I want it to be painfully obvious this is the best choice. And so just like Seth said, I think pictures, title, making sure the copy speaks to the actual customer and isn't generalized, all these things are the way to solve that problem.
I love how you said painfully obvious. Guys, it should be painfully obvious that your product is the best just by looking at it. People buy with their eyes. They do. This looks kind of funny, but it's fun. All right, let's keep going, guys. Can I apply your information to my eBay business? Anthony, I'll answer your question in 2 ways. Number one, indirectly, yes. Of course, the keywords, the research, all of that applies. Number two, I know a member on our team who has tripled his eBay business by taking our membership. But I want to set expectations fairly. It is not about eBay. It is about Amazon. So the market research, the listing optimization, those founding principles of having a great product, of differentiating, of studying the market, of building up your social media presence, of launching on Facebook, all that stuff you can apply. But keep in mind, we're talking about Amazon systems, so you'll have to transfer the principles over. All right, let's keep going. Oh, I love this question. Okay, feel free to take a shot at this one as well if you want, Emily. It's Mauricio. I'm going to give you so far the scoring card for having, in my opinion, the most difficult but well thought out question so far, and that's why I like it. I want you guys to stump us, please. How do you split the keywords you will use to better your variation listings? Let's say the variation is the quantity size. Do you guys get what he's saying? So like you go to your listing and you have one that says 1 and this one is 5. I can get a pack of 5 or I can get a pack of 1. So 1 is 1 pack and okay, and the other is 2 pack, 1 and 2. Do you assign completely different keywords? So what I'm going to do to answer this question is I'm going to turn it back around. I want you to pretend that I am the customer, okay? If I am looking for a 2-pack, what am I going to be searching? A 2-pack. So anything that distinguishes the variation B from variation A must be in the campaign for variation B, not in variation A. However, keep in mind, when they find variation A, they will also find variation B. And when they find variation B, they also find variation A if they click on it. So those actually will cross-market for each other. Now, it's weird. Having them both can actually hurt your BSR, but it also can increase your conversion, which will increase your BSR. So the key thing is it has to be something that you know they have demand for. If you know the demand is there, then you're going to, all the keywords are going to be the same in your campaign for both, because you do it based on the listing, but you're going to have specific keywords that focus on how it is different. So for example, if the difference is the color, it's orange instead of pink, then it's going to say orange selfie. Emily?
Just that I've kind of experienced this on my listing a little bit. So I have 5 variations. Some of them are a 2-pack and some of them are single. And I've actually noticed since launching those 5 variations that the power of suggestion is very real. So people are finding the listing for 2 different reasons. But a lot of times that upsell kind of works because, oh, okay, this one's a better price, or I didn't even know I could get this other variation. And so the cross marketing has actually helped my listing. And I've tried every keyword under the sun to try to see what drives traffic. And I think it's a really smart strategy to, especially to have on the same listing, that many variations.
I have a really cool question for you, and it's from Mary, and she says, can you add a video, Emily? Emily, do you want to explain?
Yeah, sure. So like I told you.
Did I put you on the spot?
No problem. This is on my Amazon listing. How do I add a video? Is that the question? Okay. So like I told you in the beginning, I don't have a registered trademark, so I don't technically have that option. I spoke with a few people who have done a workaround and felt like I was willing to take the risk to do that. So I had a video created and then I hired somebody on Fiverr who is brand registered. And in theory, I read through the terms of service of Amazon and theirs and everything, and it seemed to match up just fine. They were able to upload the video for me. And I haven't had any problems with it. And I think it's been a great addition to the listing.
Awesome. And I can thank you so much for sharing that. And I can tell you guys how it's done. So if you're brand registered, let me go back. You need a trademark to get brand registered. You need brand registry to add a video as one of your photo options in your listing. Just a few months back, that video was not an option. What they do is that person on Fiverr, they have their own vendor account and they take your ASIN and they put it in there, and it adds, and when they add that video to their account, it automatically adds it to yours because it's attached to the ASIN. So they're doing it through a vendor account. So that's how it's done, guys. Now, I love this example because, and thank you, Emily, for letting me put you on the spot. You're taking a risk, but it's a low risk. You're saying, okay, I have a business here. If this can help conversion, should I do it? Should I not? Technically, you're doing a workaround, but is it technically directly against Amazon's TOS? I've never seen it. You researched it. And what is the worst that's going to happen? I've never heard of someone having an account suppressed or account suspended for doing that. So yes, there is risk, but at the same time, that even becoming an entrepreneur is risk, you guys. Everything you have to decide, okay, there is a risk, there's a reward. Is the reward worth the risk? Can I make this work? And then you make a decision. So, and guys, by the way, that's an awesome hack. You guys should write that down because you just learned something awesome. Okay, Earth's Own Bath and Body. We're going to do 2 more questions and we're wrapping it up, guys. Hello, Seth and Emily. I'm bringing my unique handcrafted line since 2009 to Amazon this month. Congratulations. That is awesome. Learning so much from you both. Thank you so much. Bless you. I'm emailing some questions. Awesome. And guys, if you have more questions because of a bad connection, you can email Seth@justonedime.com and I'll forward them all to Emily. Just joking. No, I'm serious though. If you do have more questions, feel free to email me. I'll answer those the best that I can and no problem at all. All right. One more question, Craig. Are there any steps that I have to take because I'm on disability, which my goal is to get off disability? Thank you. Craig, I love this question. It's a great way to close this out. I'm going to share something. Emily, I'd love to hear how you did it. Usually this question means there's a funds issue, a capital issue. Do I have enough money to launch my product and to get this going? As you guys know, to build a business that makes you millions, you need to invest money. Now, I want to encourage you guys with something. When I began, I started with a dime. I had 10 cents. So there's no one watching this here on Instagram or here on YouTube who can make the excuse, I don't have enough money. If you say that, the only inhibition and block is in your mind. It's not in reality. I started $24,000 in debt with a dime. I'm married and I have 4 kids. That's a lot of money. And I had a rental and I had car expenses and I had credit card debt, like all these reasons. And I had 0 e-commerce experience and I was already in my 30s. 0 e-commerce experience, people. 0. Okay, so I'm a Generation X. I didn't use a computer until I was 18 years old. So I just want to encourage you guys, if any of these excuses into your mind, I would like to be the smiling face that comes into your mind that removes those excuses, because you can do this. You have to believe that. So the question isn't, can I? I love your question, Craig. It's how? That's what you should be asking. Of course I can. Yeah, absolutely I can. People have done far more amazing things than Seth Knight or Emily Davcev. So the real question is, will you? Are you willing to do what it takes? That's my first response. Second, go into your house, sell everything you don't need. Take all that money and buy a product that you have researched well, that you've differentiated well, and begin selling on Amazon. And if that's not enough money, then start selling stuff on Craigslist or start selling on eBay. You have to start. You have to generate. Even if you have just $1, ask, how do I turn this dollar into 2? Who do I trade it with? What do I sell so I can get more money back? You have to get into the mindset of, I'm going to trade things for money, and that money is going to turn into products, and that products will turn into more money, which will be more products. And before you know it, you have a growing business. So start with what you got. I had a bunch of books sitting behind me in my office. I sold every one that I could. I sent them all into Amazon. Some of them, Emily, were like from the 1800s, as I love old books. I think they're awesome. You open them up and smoke comes out and they're kind of yellow and like, man, this thing was written in the 1700s. It's amazing. I sold them for a lot of building margin for my family, more worth it. Which will I be more proud of on my deathbed? Well, boom, asking the question just answered it for me right there. Go ahead, Emily. What would you say to Craig to encourage him?
So there's this quote I love by Harvey Firestone, and he says, capital isn't that important, experience isn't that important. You can get both of those things. What's really important is ideas. And I think if you have an idea that is valuable and will be valuable to your customer, you can make the rest happen. And I always tell people the elevator pitch. If you got on an elevator with someone who had money and you had 10 floors to tell them your idea, would they write you a check on the spot? If you have your own funds and there are many, you can kind of just fund your own thing and there's no proof of concept, but don't have enough resources from the gate and you need to get other people's buy-in up front. That's actually a huge asset because it saves you a lot of time and money. Your idea needs to be so good that it gets validation first instead of going to market. So I actually think that's a super powerful position to be in. I don't see it as an asset or a liability. I see it as an asset. And so I think you can do whatever you choose to do. Just have good ideas and the rest will follow.
I love it. I can't end this better than that, you guys. So if you have more questions, I'm going to be very direct. We have turned multiple people into millionaires. You need to click the link below. Join Just One Dime. We will do everything we can to help you crush it on Amazon. We are Amazon sellers. We go from beginner to advanced, and we have a ridiculous amount of training, not just videos that are updated every week, but 5 hours of live coaching. So you guys want to hear my sell pitch? There it is. You want to change your life? Join Just One Dime. We will do everything we can to help you get there. And guys, please forgive the echo. I've been working on my echo, and I hope that you like it. All right, give us 2 weeks. We'll be in our new offices. The internet's going to be insane. But if you'd rather me not come live because of the echo, I can do that. Any choice of value. All right. Thank you, Emily. You guys have an awesome day.
Bye, guys. Bye, Seth.
All right.